Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died. Oh, shucks. Kyle is now a ghost. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities. What? Welcome aboard, I'm JasonOfArgo, and this is Kyle is Famous, a choose-your-own-adventure game wherein you play a dude named Kyle who suddenly becomes famous and you have to guide him through all the trials and travails of becoming a big star. So, you know, something I have no experience with. Let's begin. Kyle wakes up. He is famous. Oh, we begin famous. Okay, I thought we would suddenly become famous, but some people, they just have what it takes, you know? Kyle is host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle, as opposed to that other terrible show, Stay Up Late with Frank. We all know how that ended, huh? Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year and the public has noticed. Inside has called Kyle a most excellent dumpy white man. Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields. Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details. Most online videos are best-of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast. The eye of the world is upon Kyle. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet. Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She is a kind and lovely philanthropist. She is dear to the hearts of many. This interview requires preparation. Well, fortunately, I am extremely prepared for all events in my life, so Kyle, you and me, we're gonna make a great team. Kyle cracked his eyes open, knowing today is his last chance to prepare for the interview. Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely. And by the way, there's 21 endings thereabouts, which would be cool. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. Exit the bed or wither away. I think, Kyle, the pressures of being famous, they've really worn on you, haven't they, Kyle? The constant questions, the people asking, begging for your attention all day, every day. It's more than any one dumpy white man, I almost said wumpy-dite man, it's more than any dumpy white man could take. I think the wisest course today, Kyle, would just be to give up on it all. What if we just did that, Kyle? What if we just ran away together? Remember how we always had our plans to go to Paris, Kyle? I want to see Paris. I want to see the world. But unfortunately, we're really tired, so wither away it'll have to be. Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died. Oh, shucks. Kyle is now a ghost. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities. What? Is that in our contract? Did we sign a contract saying that even in the afterlife, we are obligated to do what our producer tells us? Producers, man, they are the highest form of life, apparently. Get out of bed anyway. Well, thanks for railroading me, game. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. Open the closet, scavenge, sit at desk. Let's scavenge. Let's turn this into a survival horror game. Kyle quickly crouched on the floor, realizing his immediate need for gossip. Or bugs. Gossip, duh, we're a famous person. What else do famous people subsist on a constant diet of gossip? Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below. I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more. And so she said more. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers. That's not a word. I'm pretty sure the word you're looking for is misdemeanors or ne'er-do-wells or blackguards. There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened and someone exited the neighbor's apartment. Well, just because you're roommates with Bugman doesn't really... You don't have to judge them. But speaking of bugs... Let's grab some. He started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two. Soon he had a small handful of various insects, both dead and alive. Save for later use or eat immediately. Would that give us a bunch of ghost bugs in our pockets? Kind of tempted to eat them, but you know, what if we actually need some of these bad boys for later? It took an entire hour to stash the wriggling mass away for later use, and now they're squirming around in our pockets. We got ants in our pants, literally. So, What do we do now? He returned to the center of the bedroom. Is there anything else to scavenge? He realized his immediate need for going back to his bedroom. Wow, every click takes a whole hour. Kyle, you are a lazy, dumpy man. Open the closet. It took a whole hour for Kyle to move to his closet. Because apparently he is a ghost, so it would take him a while to figure out how to work a doorknob, right? He opened the closet. It was dark, and he could only really see his hanging shirts. Choose an outfit. He decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is. Which is why I have a plain black shirt on a dark background that you could barely even see, and doesn't even have anything particularly interesting going on. I got a splash of color right there. See the green outlines on my chair? That means I'm a pro gamer. A slick suit, a suit of armor, or skunk pasties, or jeans and swimming goggles. Why? Why jeans and swimming goggles? Why not jeans and, like, skydiving goggles? Let's go with the suit of armor. You never know how angry producers will be when you come up to them. It's better to, if you surprise them, believe me, it's better to have protection. Kyle was unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but it felt like the right thing to do. After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self. You know, this brings up the question of why do you even have a suit of armor? I guess it's like a prop from a former podcast or something. You know, he made some vines back in the day. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom and he went to sit at his desk. He made his way over to his desk and sat down. He decided to write notes for his interview. Well, actually, he checked at his desk drawer first, because you never know maybe there's more bugs in there. Kyle opened the side drawer on his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there, a small key, or assorted change. He grabbed a small bit of chi to use for a Kamehameha wave later. Kyle grabbed the small key he kept in his desk, although that is actually how key is pronounced, I suppose. Alright, so now we have a key. Let us check again. Rummage around for assorted change. We only have 3 hours left, so we might as well write some notes for our interview. Kyle wrote down his first question. Are you a mother? Am I a mother? Is your mother a mother? Is your mother a mother? That's the most important question, obviously. He wrote down his second question. What are some diet tips? Beef, mashed or blended? Ever eaten a raw egg whole? You ever seen a grown man naked? He wrote down his third question. What's your funniest story? Do you ever smile? I purposely ran over a puppy. He wrote down his last question. What's your guilty pleasure? Do you feel guilty? Are you guilty? I'm guilty. I'm guilty of a lot of things. Let's talk about all the things I'm guilty about. I purposely ran over a puppy. Okay? He ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk. He went back to his desk. He went back to his room. He hurried to the set. Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived. Oh. Wow. Showbiz is really... really stressful. You can't even die right. Sitting across from his host chair, I thought it said ghost chair, was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. Is that a word? I'm pretty sure it's just... you could have just like said sincerity, honesty, genuineness. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Approach Rachel. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to get here. Oh no, she's an alpha type. Kyle responded, scream and spin in circles. Well, of course I'm gonna pick that option if you give it to me. He started to stretch out his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and was interrupted by his producer telling him that, and Rachel, that it was time to start the show. Well, darn it, I was about to T-pose and assert dominance. Don't you know how important that is? Whoa. Are we live? Are we live? I didn't even gel my hair yet. I'm not ready. Oh no, I'm not ready for the big time. I haven't even gotten dressed. Oh my gosh. I never thought this chance would come. I gotta go get ready. I'll be right back. Shit. Welcome aboard. I'm JasonOfArgo, and you're watching YouTube. But then you knew that already, didn't you? Let's gossip about our neighbor. Did you hear about Bugman? Have you heard the word? Good evening, everybody, said Kyle. My neighbor is a bug vigilante. With nothing more to say on the matter, he fell silent. Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to be introduced. The producer started cutting to different camera angles to break the tension. Kyle continued to remain silent and stare forward, blankly. After several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked out onto the set. "Hi everyone," she said, smiling hollowly. "My name is Gabby, and I am not a bug vigilante." False. Kyle looked at Gabby and then returned to staring forwards. Gabby began to reply but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt. "Bug girl," it squawked. "A robbery is in progress on East 3rd. Report immediate." Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot. After a beat, she spoke again. "Something has come up suddenly and I must go." Gabby left the set. "Well," said Kyle, "that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel." Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked past the cameras, leaving her alone. Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast. In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Kyle dubbed this show as a masterpiece of television. We even got a guest appearance from Bugman, even though she's a lady. I think. Her name is Stay Up Late with Kyle online. Kyle's online pages were Stay Up Late with Kyle's online pages were updated to reflect this broadcast as the most popular ever. Kyle's producer later tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very, very, very busy. Kyle talked about Gabby. Endings unlocked 1 of 21. Well, that was really something. I got to be on TV. I got to show you all how stylish I am. And best of all, we got to talk about Gabby. Good old Gabby. She's a bug, and also she's a Gabby. Really, what more do you need in a woman? Those two things. Those are the only two things you need. Just to be a bug man, and also to be named Gabby. And then life is pretty much figured out. Kind of like Kyle. He's a dumpy white man, and yet he's automatically famous. I mean, who ever heard of that happening these days? I think we have time for one more run. Shall we exit the bed or wither away? You know, we didn't do much as a ghost outside, but the moment we get to the set... Oh, we can move to our kitchen? Wow, there's a whole world in my apartment that we didn't even look through. I spent my whole time in the room, but we didn't even use the bugs. That's odd. Wouldn't Gabby have been interested in the fact that we're holding a bunch of innocent bugs hostage? And also a bunch of dead ones? Let's move to the kitchen. Open the fridge. Kyle opened the fridge intending to find something to eat. He shall eat the crust on the fridge wall. Eat the fridge. Prepare breakfast or eat condiments. Well, since we're ghosts, what's really limiting us and limiting us anymore? We're gonna eat the entire fridge, literally. Kyle pointed his neck directly upwards and hoisted the fridge on top of his face. Somehow, miraculously, like the anaconda of legend, he wrapped his mouth around the device. He started to swallow. In one... I did not need to hear those noises. Those were noises that I did not need to hear for the rest of my life, nor do I need to hear them ever again. In one slow, horrible movement, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat. After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back out. Relatively? This is something that you need a bit. This is something that we need a lot more than relative certainty here, okay? We need to be 100% certain that bad boy is not coming back out, either through the top or the bottom, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a bad time either way. Let's check the pantry. Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole. Oh, that's where I gotta go back to my room. And there's also a locked door to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from inside. Force the door with forehead or float through as a ghost. Let's do that. Of course, Kyle used his ghostly powers to walk straight through the door. He found himself in the room he stashed the various items sent to him by fans. Check the sewing machine. Kyle walked over to the dilapidated sewing machine. Its box was only half removed. Oh, interesting. Why would you give it up halfway? Let's go back to the hallway then. Float through a side door? How many doors are in my... Oh, wait. That is the door. Okay. Return to the bedroom. Sit the desk. Check the drawer. Get the key. Back to desk. Back to room. Go to... Uh-oh, we gotta go. Okay. Well, what happens now? Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day. Oh my good, well, I'm a ghost. They all fell off, lady. Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes. Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly. Well, I mean, it is hard to maintain, the eye contact with such a paragon of masculinity as Kyle, the dumpy white man, as it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving. Right? Rachel made some excuses and exited the set. One by one, the crew followed suit. Kyle was left all alone. Kyle prepared by being a nudist. Excellent work, Kyle. I am so proud of you. Is he gone? Is he gone? Can we leave now? He's not coming back, right? Let's just leave through the side door. Maybe Kyle won't notice. He's so weird. He's such a weirdo. But not me. Not like me. You guys know me. You guys won't leave me like everybody left Kyle, will you? No? Of course not. Let's do one more run through. Okay, first we're gonna get the key. And then we're gonna go back to the hallway. And then we're gonna unlock the pantry. Unlock the small key. The pantry door lock creaked, as if it hadn't moved for years, but eventually opened. Look in pantry. Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard. Grab that. I know exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna stash it on our person for later use. I was gonna put it on us. I was gonna put it on right now, since, my hair's already all done up. Might as well get the rest of me, right? Let's go back to the bedroom, get some clothes on. And we're gonna get some swimming goggles on us, just in case. He decided on a fashion-forward, casual style. He could barely see out of the goggles. I know your pain, my man. What do we do if we leave the apartment? Visit tech store, or visit downstairs neighbor? What if we visited the neighbor or the tech store naked? Kyle walked into the clean, white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, an elaborate cutout mascot with flashing lights. Ask attendant for free samples, or steal Techno Jim. Steal Techno Jim quickly before the attendant could acknowledge him. Kyle grabbed Techno Jim by the shoulders. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Kyle started to pull upwards forcefully. After several tugs, Techno Jim broke free, leaving one foot and one leg behind. Kyle glanced at the attendant, who was staring, bewildered, and ran outside. Continue with her day. He walked into the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. We shall visit our downstairs neighbor with only 3 hours left. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. She looked at Kyle expectantly. Deposit lard bottle. Okay. He produced his bottle of lard, bit the glass neck off, and wordlessly dumped the contents on Gabby. Fortunately, that leaves her with absolutely no time to respond, because it's time to go to the set. Across from his host chair was a glamorous woman, still with that air of genuine anonymity. Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Kyle. She said, I've been looking forward to being here. Interview Techno Jim instead. Techno Jim, what do you have to say for yourself? How did you lose that leg? Was it in the war? It was definitely in the war, right? It wasn't because I just stole you out of the store, right? He roughly shoved Rachel out of her seat and placed Techno Jim in her stead. Hello, Techno Jim, said Kyle. I'm going to interview you today. Kyle grasped Techno Jim's hand and tried to shake it, but instead tore it off the cardboard frame. Kyle's producer, sensing viral media, pulled the bewildered Rachel out of frame and motioned to the crew to go live. Cameramen moved, lights flashed, and suddenly the studio was on air. Hi, I'm Kyle, said Kyle, and tonight I'm going to interview a very special guest. Kyle pointed at Techno Jim using the dismembered arm. Techno Jim started to smoke from the heat of the lights. Would you like to introduce yourself? Asked Kyle. Knowing Jim would probably not speak, Kyle took it upon himself to be his voice as well. I am the god of Techno Jim. I speak through him and he speaks for me. He is my prophet, Techno Jim. Together we speak the word of the new iPhone X70X. Hi, Kyle, he said, raising the pitch of his voice. Oh. My name is Rachel May, and I'm a very special guest. Rachel's expression of confusion turned to shock. Well, Rachel, you look way too thin and absolutely terrible, and you should feel ugly. Kyle gave Jim a meaningful stare. Wow, Kyle, he said. I sure wish I could cook like you. Techno Jim burst into flames. This is turning into a disaster. A glorious, glorious disaster. Instantaneously, the sprinkler system initiated. Curtains of water poured down from the rafters. Within seconds, the production equipment was doused in water. The set was aburst in electrical fires. Kyle's crew abandoned their posts as cameramen and sound mixers to try to put the fires out. As the crew scrambled around, the cameras continued to run. Kyle sat motionless, staring forward. Eventually, the fires were all put out. Kyle's producer shut off the broadcast, leaving Kyle's vacant stare as the final frame. Kyle's ratings skyrocketed. Techno Jim became a staple on the show, often ending up destroyed by the end of each episode. Although Rachel did not come back on the show, her cardboard portrayal did. Rachel was very popular. The end. What a glorious free game. Did I mention that it was free? This is a lot of fun. And a lot of fun playing. Hope you guys had fun watching, but that's all the time we have on today's show. Jason of Argo, starring Jason of Argo, and I hope you'll see me in the next episode. I am and will remain your captain, and I will see you on the next episode. I just said that, well, since I just made things really awkward, I suppose you guys will just have to sit here and look at my vacant stare. You know, being the dumpy white man that I am, but also not quite. Bet you guys didn't know I was half Asian, did you? No? By the way, what do you guys think about lard?